He blocked that out. He's deciding to take storm damage. Yes, Mr. Savage. Oh, no my God.
And a top competitor. And now, over 6 years into his career, it looks like he's doing better than ever. So today, we're gonna take a look back to see exactly how he got here. Martin Anderson, best known as Mrsavage, grew up in Norway his entire life. And as a kid, he would spend most of his time playing sports and being active. But there was one thing that stood out the most to those around him, and that's how extremely competitive he was. Savage and his brother loved competing against each other, whether that was football, chess, table tennis, or video games. Skipping ahead a few years later, we are now in late 2017, and a new battle royale was starting to take over, Fortnite. And the one who introduced him to the game was actually his brother. They both started playing together, but quickly, Savage's skills grew more and more. He was now outplaying all of his opponents, to the point where getting a win was second nature to him. And eventually, Savage would end up uploading his first ever YouTube video on March 22nd, 2018. For the next few months, he uploaded here and there, just posting clips and high kill solo squad gameplay. Now these videos did decently well for the time, but nothing too crazy. And in May of that same year, he decided to start streaming on Twitch for the first time. Savage was actually homeschooled back then, so if he was ever going to start grinding, now would be the time. At first, he was really consistent, streaming almost every day, but as time progressed, the streams got more inconsistent. Now, even though he wasn't streaming as much as he used to, he was still putting in the time, playing the game as much as possible. And things would pretty much stay the same as they were until November, where everything would change. This was when he started uploading more high kill solo squads gameplay, and he finally started streaming consistently again. Because of this, he quickly started averaging around 100 viewers. And before he knew it, it was the very end of the year, and he was now averaging a couple thousand viewers. But nobody would have guessed what was about to happen in 2019. Now, since Savage was on the come up, everybody could see that he was going to be an amazing player one day. And because of this, he would end up getting signed to his very first large esports org, which would be NRG. Savage didn't waste this opportunity. He quickly started making a name for himself even more, breaking kill records, pulling off some insane big IQ plays, and dominating scrims against pro players. Because of all this, he started getting hundreds of thousands of views every single video, all while averaging around 5,000 viewers. But if streaming didn't already change his life, this upcoming announcement would launch him into stardom. Throughout the whole time Fortnite had been out, any competitive events hosted by Epic Games required participants to be 16 years old or older. And since Savage was 13, that meant he couldn't play in any of them. But when online tournaments were announced for the first time, they also stated that they were going to lower down the age requirement to 13. And just like when his stream started popping off, he would make sure to take advantage of this opportunity. For the first couple of tournaments, some of them were duos, so of course he had to play with another up-and-comer, Benji Fishy. And in the Scallywag Cup, which was actually the very first tournament you could earn in, he ended up placing 18th in the finals, getting him and Benji their first earnings. And in the upcoming tournaments that happened afterwards, he was doing extremely well. But soon, one of the biggest tournaments in gaming history was about to be announced. The $40 million Fortnite World Cup. And going into it, he actually ended up winning the Duo World Cup warm-up. So if it wasn't clear already, Mrsavage was one of the best players in the world. He just needed to prove it.
Knocked one. Got another one. He's over in the zone over here, got him. Headshot him. He's white. Got him.
We're going behind him.
Nice. Kill one. Nice. Another one. Got him. Got him. Hold him. I called him. Got him. Got him. Dead. Got him. Nice.
He's white.
Dead. Dead. Sorry. Knock one on them.
3 things. Go. Alright. Oh,
I'm in his box.
That's my step.
Knocked him. Knocked him. Got him, he's dead. One go.
Go.
And in the first week of duos, Savage dominated the competition, winning the event, punching his ticket to play at the finals in New York. So now that he already qualified for duos, he just had to do it one more time in solos.
Let's go, Chad! Down on low ground, he's gonna get it. Yes, he does take out DK. Sure, for example, takes him out. That's another player that's not gonna be challenging him on the leaderboard. Talking about that matters. Sad Aqua. Mrsavage qualifies this week for a trip to the World Cup Finals in New York. Building on up, 22 builds remaining. The spray comes in a 72 tag, another elimination. He's getting completely blocked and out. He's deciding to take storm damage. Yes, Mrsavage. Oh my God! Oh my God! Goodness! What a play! The best shadow bomb use I've ever seen!
And he would end up qualifying off the back of one of the most iconic clips in Fortnite history. On top of already making it to both the finals, he also managed to qual an extra 2 more times in duos, just for some bragging rights. Going into the finals, a lot of people had Mrsavage and Benji up there as one of the favorites to win. And in his mind, he was prepared to do so. So after months of preparation, it was time to see if he could make history. But unfortunately, that wouldn't happen. He didn't do too bad, placing 29th in solos and 14th in duos. However, he was expecting to do much better. Now, his placements as a competitor may not have been up to his standards, but his numbers as a content creator was a completely different story. In August, just 1 month after the World Cup, he would end up hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And he was still averaging crazy numbers on Twitch, sometimes getting over 10,000 viewers consistently. And these numbers wouldn't stop, because not long after, the first FNCS was announced. Now, he didn't do too bad in Season X, placing 7th, but in Chapter 2 Season 1 squads, he wouldn't even make the Grand Finals. However, he was about to start 2020 with a bang. In February, he would end up leaving NRG, but that was because he had just gotten signed to 100 Thieves. And he was about to quickly show why this new signing was worth it. And that's because in the same month was the first LAN event since the World Cup, which was DreamHack Anaheim. Now, it wasn't officially ran by Epic, but DreamHack is an extremely respected company. And with a $250,000 prize pool, many good players showed up to compete. He would end up easily qualifying, winning the Opens, then placing 14th in the semifinals. So after not playing to his full potential at the World Cup, this was another chance for Savage to show the world he is one of the best.
This game solely from eliminations. Nice shot on the Jinx. This is somebody who's pushing him and quickly turns. Oh my God! We can. I'm not sure why we're swapping out, but oh, did he just get one more?
That's why he goes for the impact. Gets a step down after he gets an Elam. Another beam coming through. Finally has Mats. Goes for the
Work with.
He has a rainbow low up, but the question is, this is a great match. Has a big explosion, punches, and Savage says no. No Mats. Here we go. Odinite dodges the shot. Savage still up top. The 4th shot. It's
Savage would end up winning by almost 50 points, taking home $30,000. At this point, his confidence must have been through the roof, so going back in the FNCS, all eyes were on him. But for the next couple seasons, things wouldn't go too well. In the upcoming Grand Finals, he placed 12th, 15th, 57th, 8th, and another 8th. Now, none of these performances were bad by any means, but Mrsavage was at the point in his career where all he wanted to do was win. And in Chapter 2 Season 6, he was about to make his best FNCS run till this day. This time, he decided to trio up with Refsguard and Andretta. And when they managed to win the first qualifier and place 2nd in the next one, it seemed like Savage was back to his peak form. So heading into the Grand Finals, it was time to see if he could finally become an FNCS champion.
But he's down on low ground now, and Height has run out of mats.
Yeah, now Height is free.
Dead. Nice, we just. I think full box me now. Full box me now, guys. Don't reset the one.
Savage gets the off-fuel down as well. Please looking on the backside. Savage is there. Can't find the shot, and it's down to the final tick.
I'm gonna harping you. Say harping you. Half a match. Up to you now.
Not yet. Stink pulls from Andretta. They have the Elam. Cypher comes through. Yes. Winston eating the beat right now too. He's going straight for that drop down. It's not gonna be enough.
Let's go!
They would play out of their minds, but sadly just barely get beaten out by Quasi, Trulex, and Jerky. However, a 2nd place definitely boosted his confidence. But unfortunately, this confidence wouldn't transfer into a good performance going forward. Throughout the rest of Chapter 2, Savage would place 65th, 11th, 23rd, and 15th. But to be fair to him, in most of these FNCSs, he did end up getting contested, so obviously it would be very hard to do well. Now his grand finals placements might not have been that good this chapter, but he did perform quite well in multiple other tournaments. For example, he ended up doing really good in some cash co-ops and even ended up winning a duo DreamHack. But soon we're about to leave chapter 2 in the past. We were now in chapter 3, a fresh start for every player. And with the new FNCS game mode being duos, he decided to run it back with Benji Fishy. But their dominance in the early chapters of competitive sadly wouldn't continue. In season 1 they placed 36th and in season 2 45th. So after multiple bad performances in the grand finals, Benji would actually end up quitting the game. So Savage was left looking for a new teammate for season 3. And he actually ended up playing with one of the best players in the game.